Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Rich from Rich TV Live, and I have some big news to bring to you about Pax Labs, which has entered the Canadian cannabis market, and this news is absolutely huge for Aphria, Aurora, Organiram Holdings Inc, and the Supreme Cannabis Company Inc, which I think puts a bullseye on all four of them, showing just how powerful all four of those companies are, and is essentially outlining that all four of them have enormous upside because they are the chosen ones. And it's all over the news. It's everywhere I go. Listen to this.
Pax Labs is partnering with 4 Canadian cannabis producers to supply the domestic market with marijuana oil ahead of the launch of new product formats for the legal marijuana market this October. For more, we have BNN Bloomberg's David George Koch. How big a development is this?
So this is actually quite significant, especially because we have yet to really see the emergence of what the vape market in Canada will look like. And the fact that Pax Labs is making a broad push into this market is a very significant driver of what we should expect to happen in the Canadian legal marijuana market. Pax Labs, as some of our viewers may know, is the brains behind the company called Juul, which accounts for about 3/4 of the U.S. nicotine vape market itself. Pax Labs carved out Juul in 2017, and Juul received a $12 billion investment from Aphria that values the company at $38 billion. That is to say, vape is huge business right now, and it accounts for roughly 1/4 to 1/3 of the legal cannabis market in several U.S. states, which is what some analysts expect to be replicated here in Canada. Now, Pax Labs is partnering with Aphria, Aurora, Organiram, and Supreme Cannabis, 4 major Canadian cannabis producers, to source their cannabis extracted oil for this their upcoming Pax vape devices.
What will vaping of marijuana look like in Canada? Will these devices look almost identical to the nicotine vape devices that most of us are not familiar with?
That's essentially what most people should expect. The Juul devices, it looks like a USB key that you inhale through a pod that is attached to that device. There's also cartridges that with a 510 millimeter screw that you can replace whenever you finish with them, and there's also going to be disposable products as well, where once you're finished with the actual pen, you can throw it away or recycle it as you need. There's also more specialized products in the market for those that want a different kind of user experience, but given those markets are still yet to be determined, especially in terms of the regulations, which we have yet to see any sort of final information from the government yet.
Do analysts have their hands around what this could mean financially to the companies involved?
Financial, right now we have yet to really determine how much that this is going to increase share prices, given that we don't have a price point for these cannabis products. But given that vaping is essentially a way for new cannabis users to enter the market, those that don't necessarily want to ingest cannabis through traditional methods, it is expected to be a very strong driver. And one thing that I forgot to mention, these are very high margin products as well. You're getting much higher margins than the 40-50% that you would get with flower. You could expect to get 70 to 80% margins. It's a very significant business. And the Pax Labs involvement here is a very, very good sign of better things to come.
David George Koch, thanks a lot for keeping us up to date on that story.
So this is the big news that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. So vape heavyweight Pax Labs Inc. is partnering with 4 Canadian cannabis producers to supply the domestic market with marijuana oil ahead of the launch of new legal product formats in October. So everybody is getting ready for legalization of edibles. I've been telling you guys this. I'm going to keep telling you guys this. This is going to be a huge resurrection in the cannabis sector, and it may have already begun with Pax Labs. This is the news that is trending. Using cannabis through a vaporizer is widely expected to emerge as one of the most popular formats in the legal Canadian pot market, given its popularity in American states that permit recreational cannabis use. It's also a higher margin product relative to dry flower and believed to be key to introducing legal cannabis to users who aren't fans of traditional methods of smoking the drugs. Now you can see here these 4 companies that were in the news doing a partnership with Pax Labs. We've seen a little bit of price appreciation, especially from the Supreme Cannabis Company, which was up 6% on Friday on this news. So Supreme Cannabis Company, Aurora Cannabis, Organigram, and Aphria are the chosen ones. They are the chosen ones for Pax Labs. This is enormous for those 4. According to a recent Scotiabank research report, vape products and cannabis concentrates represent roughly one third, 33% of the total market in states such as California, Colorado, Nevada, and Washington. For example, demand for vape products in Colorado accounted for 23% of the legal market in 2017, from 12% in 2014. So this is huge news, and I think this could be a catalyst for one of the most undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed companies in the entire cannabis sector, the Supreme Cannabis Company. This is a company that has a chance to be an absolute giant, but yet they're trading as if they're just a small company. They're not a small company. They're a huge giant. They've been here since the start, but every one of their partners, every one of their peers has passed them by. Look at the prices of everyone else. Look at Organigram. These companies have all been around for about the same amount of time. Organigram trading at $9.56. Fire trading at $1.74. Aurora Cannabis trading at $10.13. Aphria trading at $9.67. And then we got Fire trading at $1.74, but they have been chosen. What does that tell you about Fire? To me, it tells you that they are one of the most undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed companies in the entire sector with enormous, and I say enormous, upside. Now, if we look at the 5-year chart of all these stocks, they're all up. They're all up. Every one of these stocks is up. Even Fire's up, but they're not up as much as the rest of these. I mean, these bad boys have exploded. Like, look at Aurora Cannabis. Like, they have been an enormous success for shareholders, okay? Any way you slice it, this stock has gone up. Now, the question is, what will these stocks do now that they are working with Pax Labs? Let's read a little bit more about this. For example, demand for vape products in Colorado accounted for 23% of the legal market in 2017, from 12% in 2014, while the use of cannabis flower declined to 54% from 66% during the same period. As new products such as vape pens are added to store shelves, we expect some customers to spend to shift from the current flower and oil offerings. Scotia analyst Ben Isaacson and Oliver Rowe wrote in the report released last month. Additionally, these new formats could attract more users from the illicit channel where the products are currently offered, increasing the size of the addressable legal market. This is what I'm talking about. Right now, everybody that's doing this is doing it illegally in Canada. If you want to buy vapes legally, you're going to have to do it through one of these licensed LPs. That's just the way it's going to be. That's the way they're structuring it. They're doing that on purpose. They want the piece of the pie. So you gotta look at the chart on Organigram. Wow. I mean, you want to talk about a beautiful chart. Does it get any more beautiful than this? 18 cents on September 2015. Now at $9.56. That is unbelievable growth. Absolutely unbelievable growth. And I believe this news proves that these bad boys will only get bigger and will only get better. I mean, the charts of these stocks are unbelievable. absolutely unbelievable. Now, a lot of people say to me, Rich, the markets are so difficult. I've been getting eaten up in the cannabis sector, Rich, over the last year or two. Ask yourself who you're buying. Are you buying Aphria? Are you buying Aurora Cannabis? Are you buying Organigram? Are you buying Supreme Cannabis Company? These are the companies that you should be looking at, because these are the companies that the biggest players are partnering with. And if they're going to partner with the biggest players, then why wouldn't you partner with them? If you're holding some tiny little penny stock and you keep losing money, ask yourself, what are you doing as a trader? What exactly are you doing and why are you doing it? Aphria Inc., Aurora Cannabis, Organigram Holdings, and the Supreme Cannabis Company will supply Pax with cannabis extracts, distillates, and resin for its Pax Era pen and pod vape system, a device similar to the Juul product, which is a dominant player in the US nicotine vape market. Pax Labs quickly emerged as one of the biggest companies in the tobacco and cannabis sectors, given the popularity of its devices, which are used for vaporizing marijuana, flower, oil, and waxy extracts, but it doesn't grow or sell the plant. Pax Labs founded Juul, which has been about 3/4 of the US vape market. 3/4. That's 75% of the vape market in America. This is an enormous deal. An absolutely enormous deal. It doesn't get bigger than this. Pax Labs founded Juul, which has about 3/4 of the US vape market, and carved the company out as a standalone entity in 2017. Last December, tobacco giant Altria Group Inc. invested $12.8 billion US in Juul, Juul, for a 35% stake in the e-cigarette maker, valuing the company at US $38 billion. As well, vaping has drawn the attention of practically every Canadian cannabis producer, while Health Canada's final regulations on cannabis extracts and concentrates are yet to be released. Most major pot companies are set to have a vape strategy in place, despite not releasing much info on those products. Ray Gracewood, Senior Vice President for Marketing at Organigram. Let's take a look at Organigram once again. One of the best success stories in the cannabis sector over the last few years, and we've been talking about them since they were under $2. They are now around $9.50. So Ray Gracewood, Senior Vice President for Marketing at Organigram, said the company is earmarking about 1/4 of its cannabis for the concentrate market in anticipation for the demand it hopes to see for vape products. The company also plans to produce cartridges and disposable devices for the Canadian market. He added, "We think the vaporizer market will be the second biggest market next to dried flower in the short term and the biggest driver to get new customers in the space." Wow. That is huge. You can see this news is everywhere, guys. This news is literally trending everywhere. This is huge news for the entire sector and specifically for these 4 stocks. This news is absolutely huge. Once again, Aphria, Aurora, Organigram, and the Supreme Cannabis Company have a enormous partner. Enormous. We think the vaporizer market will be the second biggest market next to dried flower in the short term and the biggest driver to get new customers, consumers in the space. He said in a phone interview with BNN Bloomberg. Cohen and Company analyst Vivian Azer said in a report on Wednesday that Cronos Group Inc. is expected to be a major player in the vape segment as it leverages its $2.4 billion strategic investment from Altria. Azer said Cronos is using Altria's old R&D facility in Israel to advance its next-generation vapor devices, which uses technology and Altria developed over the last several years for the tobacco market. She added that she expects the vaporizer market in Canada to be larger than what is seen in the US as companies use more innovative technology to win customers. Wow. Huge news. breaking news. Had to bring it out to you guys. Had to break it down to you guys. I think this is going to be enormous. Put Aphria, Organigram, Aurora Cannabis, and the Supreme Cannabis Company on full alert. All four of these companies are going to be absolute giants in the cannabis space for the next 5 to 10 years. You can book it. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. Peace.